guys, welcome to Rock With Us podcast. My name is Takai Reed, the YVOV Media Chair. This is our first episode of Rock With Us, where we are elevating the youth voice on leadership to inspire community change. And
my name's Axel Echevarria. I'm the co-chair of YVOV's media crew. And today we have the special guest of Mayor Malik Evans, the mayor of Rochester, New York.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Calvin Holloway. I am the assistant coordinator of Youth Voice One Vision.
Here we go. Good to be here, guys. First show. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been an upcoming thing. We planned this for what?
Yeah.
Couple
of months. And now here you are, right?
Yeah.
Here you are. Congratulations.
In the flesh. Yeah. Okay, so today we're going to ask you a couple questions regarding the state of the city address happening next week, the 22nd of April at Charlotte.
Yep. In Charlotte, 23rd. Yeah, in Charlotte. Yeah, it's coming up next week. Yep.
So the first question would be, what has been your biggest challenge you faced as the mayor of Rochester?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of challenges. So I came in as mayor post-pandemic. So and we all knew that, that almost really that I would say 3-year period, 2020, 2021, and 2022. Yeah. That was a big challenge. Remember, everything was shut down. You guys were out of school. Okay, there were graduations that were taking place with people with masks, and they were driving through. People weren't able to get out of their cars. My first day as mayor, I wasn't able to meet with my senior management team because we were in COVID protocols still. So we were in masks, we were spread out. So getting things opened back up in the city was a challenge that we had to overcome. And if you remember, we had high levels of gun violence. That was a major challenge that we faced. We saw some of the highest numbers of gun violence that we had seen. We brought that down, by 53% in terms of gun violence, but that was a major issue. So mental health, gun violence were big challenges that I faced when I really came in as mayor. And I know you wanted to know a little bit about how we overcame it.
Yes. Yeah. So how did you overcome those challenges, especially during the pandemic?
Well, a lot of it is we had to be innovative. We had to be innovative and creative. And a lot of the ways, one of the things we did was we launched the Office of Violence Prevention. And that really was focused on making sure we provided opportunities for people during that tough period where we saw high levels of violence. And we saw that prevention was very important. And one of the best ways to prevent violence is to make sure we provided as many activities and jobs for young people. So we expanded our Summer of Opportunity program. We added the My Brother's Keepers component where we got 12 to 14-year-olds jobs. We expanded our workforce development programs to try to get people back to work. We worked with our police department in New York State to zero in on individuals carrying illegal guns because we knew that illegal guns was what was driving the number of retaliatory shootings that we saw was happening. We expanded our advanced peace program, which looked at an area in the Northwest where we said we want to put a pinpoint on where we were seeing high levels of violence. And then we saw all of those indices, all those numbers, they started to fall because of focus. And our focus was around 3 key areas: prevention, intervention, and suppression. And prevention was getting people jobs, expanding recreational opportunities, making sure that 6 of our centers had mental health professionals, making sure our libraries had mental health professionals, expanding our PIC team. So these are all things we did to try to bring down gun violence and all those things. We still got a long way to go, but we dropped it by 53%. But we also worked to make sure we presented economic opportunities for people as well. Because if you do those things, you don't have time to get in trouble because you're too busy working, getting a job. You don't have time, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you for your answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
We really appreciate all that knowledge you just spelled down.
Absolutely.
Our next question would be, what advice would you give young people who want to become leaders?
I think one of the most important things is to know that you are that you have the ability to bring transformative change even when you're young. So this organization that you all are a part of, Youth Voice One Vision, you know who started that organization, right? Me. You're looking at him. And I started that when I was 15 years old. It was called City County Youth Council, and then it became Youth Voice One Vision later on. And what that taught me was that as young people, you are natural organizers. You ever organize a birthday party? Or you would ever organize your friends getting ready to go to the movies? Mm-hmm. So if you can organize that type of stuff, that means that you can organize young people to also do community service projects. You can organize young people to be able to talk about mental health. We just had a big mental health event over at School of the Arts on what day was that? Saturday. and you all were on the weekend, and you all were a part of that. So my advice to young people is take that first step by trying to pull people together, and that leadership is something that you have to always continue to sharpen and learn from. So every day I read something about leadership to make sure that I am improving or sharpening my leadership skills. So leadership is always an ever evolving thing, but one of the ways in which you can get people involved in leadership or skills that you can get for leadership is to try to connect with other people who can help you reach your goal. And I think that's one advice that I have for leaders. Learn how to work with people, learn how to organize people, because the best leaders are good organizers.
And you did mention with connecting with people. Can you elaborate on that? I know you have the Mentor Up Gala.
Exactly. So that's a great segue. The Mentor Up Gala is a way for us to make sure that we connect young people with adults that are in different leadership fields, and that's how you really start to improve your leadership qualities. Because if you're talking to someone that is in a position that you may want to be in one day, even if it's not the title that you want to be in, they can give you some of those tips, right? And that's why that is so important. That's why it's important for you to make sure that you connect with caring adults or caring mentors that should help you. So I tell every young person you should have a mentor, regardless of what level that you're at. I think every adult should have a mentor. I have people even now that I call to say, hey, what do you think I should be doing? So always look to see how you can get a mentor, somebody to help you get to where it is you want to be, because 9 times out of 10, they may have been sitting where you sat and somebody helped them. And remember, a turtle does not get up on a post by itself. Somebody helps pick that turtle up and put it there. So we all need people to help us get up on a higher height. And that's what a mentor can do. So that helps you with your leadership skills as well.
So basically surrounding people that can lead you to that point of success in leadership.
That's right. Yeah. Making sure you connect with the right people, because a lot of people in our community connect with the wrong people.
Yeah.
So this cuts both ways. So you want to make sure that you are connecting with people that are going to uplift you, not bring you down.
Right.
And that's extremely important as you seek to go through your leadership journey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our next question for today would be, what would you say to your younger self with the knowledge you have obtained?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I mean, I think one of the things I would say is keep striving. And nothing is easier, and success is not linear. So by linear, what I mean is it doesn't just go like this. If it did, man, life would be easy, right? Yeah. It goes like this. You're gonna have ups and downs. And I would say to myself, you're going to have a lot of ups and downs, but make sure that you take something away from the ups as well as the downs. So when you were up, what did you appreciate and what worked? And when you were down, what did you learn from it? And then how did you take what you learned from the downs and then allow it to be able to go up? And that's the way it is in this country. That's the way it is in this world. Success, progress is not just a straight line that's linear. It has its ups, it has its downs, it has its peaks and its valleys. That's just the nature of life. But when I was growing up, I always thought that everything should just be perfect. I'm like, why is this happening? Why is this going on? Well, that's the way life is, unfortunately. But if you stay true to yourself, true to your faith, true to your friends, true to your family, that will help you navigate the ups and the downs that you will face.
Right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Kelvin, what you want to ask? It doesn't have to be a prepared question. It doesn't have to be a prepared question. It could be anything, I know you've been involved in YVOV for a while. Mm-hmm. Right? You've been around for a little bit.
How does it feel to see that the program that you started and that you were also one of the first members of, how does it feel to see the program still thriving today?
Oh man, it brings tears to my eyes, because I'm like, I would have never thought when we started City County Youth Council and it became YVOV that it still would be around, because often what happens is programs are dependent upon the person. And I always say no program should be dependent upon a person. If it's really, really good, it will outlast people, like companies that have been around for 150 years. The fact that this program is still around, I think, number one, is a testament to the mayor at the time, Bill Johnson, when it started, because he gave me the opportunity to say, no, we're going to make this last. And then to all the people that came after it to see fit that it was something that should have been preserved and expanded. And you guys really have taken it to the next level. because we did not have, we had like all we had was some T-shirts that had CCYC on it. And we did some good things, but you guys have expanded and really have done some amazing things. The outdoor Children's Bill of Rights, the mental health surveys and all the stuff that you have done. So I've just been so proud to watch the evolution of this organization expand. And we're going on like almost 30 years of this thing. Man, I'm old. For you guys were born. 30 years of this thing still going. It's like 95. So to see that this is still around and that young people are involved in this, it warms my heart. And what it tells me is that, there's a Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree is yesterday. The second best time is today. And you plant those trees because you know that future generations will benefit from the shade. So I would have had no idea that we were planting those seeds back in the day, and I hope that you guys will benefit from it, and I hope future generations will benefit from it. So it warms my heart to see that it's still going on, still going strong. And not only is it still going strong, it's even better than it was when I was a part of it. And I think that is what makes me extremely proud to say that I was one of the original OGs that helped start this back in the day. Yeah.
OG YVOV.
Yeah, that's right.
Shout out to Tremaine Harris, by the way.
Well, Tremaine Harris, he's been involved with young people for a very long time, and it takes an adult that wants to be able to help young people move from mere participants to decision makers, and that's what we were working on when we had this idea. So adults also have to make sure that they give space to young people to tell us what's going on, because I still think I'm young and cool, but I don't know as much as you do about young people, and you guys can influence young people more readily than I can, because guess what? You're in their peer group, and they're more likely to listen to you, and you can give positive peer pressure to them.
Right.
Yeah.
You're still young, 21.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 21.
What's your? How do you feel that? We started Youth Policy Task Force.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you feel about teenagers being able to produce policies for the city?
Well, I think it's great. So, I was the city district advisor for the Youth and Government program. And what that was about is young people used to come up with legislation that they thought they wanted to see happen. Not that people wear them much, but there's seatbelts on buses, and that came from a young person. A young person came up with that idea many, many years ago, and that actually ended up becoming policy. I think that it's important because young people have something to say, right?
Yeah. Right.
And you have the ability to talk about issues that are related to young people and make recommendations to people. Now, that's just part of the process. All of them may not come to fruition or may not happen, but you see things that we don't see. So for you to come forward with cohesive ideas on things that are going to make life better for young people is extremely important. So that's why this Youth Policy Council, I was a big supporter of it, and why we're advertising it. We want people to participate in it and talk about it, because look at the Youth Outdoor Bill of Rights. We have that now, and that was a result of young people working hard to bring that to fruition.
Thank you. So the last question for you, specifically for you, is the annual State of the City address is coming up, as you know, the 23rd of April, right?
That's right, 23rd of April.
What can we expect, and why should younger Rochesterians tune in?
I think younger Rochesterians should tune in because we're going to highlight some of the successes that we've had in terms of young people and some of the things that we might roll out. But more importantly, it's important for young people to understand what's going on in their city. Even if they're not old enough to vote, guess what? You will be old enough to vote. And some of you will be old enough to vote while you're in high school, or even getting ready to graduate from high school. Because remember, you only got to be 18 to vote. And even if you can't vote, you still can participate in a lot of the issues that are happening in our city. So young people should always know what's going on. And that's what City County Youth Council was all about. Youth Voice One Vision was all about. It was all about hearing about issues that are important to young people, so that way they could see how they could help change that. Be it public safety, be it mental health, be it community service, be it jobs, be it economic opportunity. Those are all things that are important for young people to know about. And you have to start extremely young in order to listen and start seeing how you can get in where you fit in. Remember, Dr. King was only 39 years old when he died, but he was leading the Montgomery bus boycott in his early 20s. And you had the Southern Christian Leadership Council. These were all the the students that were gathering at colleges and universities that were bringing about change in our country. They were doing this at a very young age. Even high school kids were doing this. So that's why it's important for young people to tune in, because you are still residents of Rochester, and you should want to know what your leaders are doing,
right,
or how you can help your leaders to make Rochester a better place. So that's why you want to tune in. and it's going to be a good event. It won't be too long, but it gives you all the opportunity to hear what's happening in your city. So that's why you want to tune in.
So this basically shows that age, for you to create change, you don't have to be old. You don't have to be
That's
wise.
right.
You could do it from young age, even as young as me.
Yeah.
Even though I don't look young, but it's
Yeah.
okay.
And how old are you?
I'm only 16.
16. Yeah. That's right. You got the beard and mustache going. That's right.
Yeah.
The goatee and mustache. But yeah, even when you're 16, absolutely. Think about it. I was 15. We were 15 when we started YVOV. So yeah, you can start from a very, very young age and still bring about change because you have influence.
Mm-hmm.
And peer pressure
Where
is amazing.
should they start?
Where should who start?
Where should they start? Engaging in the community.
I think YVOV is a good place to start. Right? Come on over to YVOV or at your church, at your synagogue, at your mosque, at the Boy Scouts, at the Girl Scouts, at a soup kitchen, in school, in student government. These are all avenues in which you can start getting involved in something or seeing an issue that might be important to young people, and then all of a sudden you're starting that, and then you're getting involved. So that's how I started, and then I continued throughout my entire life. Right. So I've been doing this for a long time. Long time.
What would you say to like any teenagers that might be a little scared to get out their shell and try to make a change? Somebody who really has an idea but doesn't know
how to do it. I would say connect with your peers because there's strength in numbers. Mm-hmm. If it's just you trying to do it by yourself, it might make it a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. But connect with other people that can be there to support you, because if you're trying to do something by yourself, that makes it hard. No one can do anything by themselves. You always need a group, or you're just there. You're just talking. I remind people that on social media, they can go on social media talking about all the stuff they're going to do, but they make it sound like it's big, but it's really just them. You gotta get the old school way, and the old school way is actually getting in a room with a person other than yourself and say, hey, I have an idea, guys, how can we do this? And then you support each other, because you may be in your shell, so there may be a different role that you want to play. You may not want to be the spokesperson, right? So I tell people are surprised when I say sometimes I'm okay with not being the spokesperson. People say, you always were the spokesperson, weren't you? I say, no, sometimes I like to pull back and still be in a supportive role. Actually, I like being in a supportive role sometimes. And then sometimes I have to be the spokesperson. So I can do different, you can play different roles. So if you are shy and you may be in your shell, you still can make a big difference because you might be doing another role and you put somebody else out to be the spokesperson. So you don't always have to be the drum major. Remember, the drum major is always in front. Boom, 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 boom. You don't always have to be the drum major. It's okay to be playing the trumpet or waving the flags or doing something. But everybody has a role to play. Now, at one point, you might want to be the drum major, and most people want to be the drum major because they want to say, "Ooh, look at me." But you don't always have to be the drum major. You can just be a person that's contributing to the group, and that makes you also a leader because you know your role. And most leaders, every leader had to follow at least once. Mm-hmm. Nobody stands up, comes up, and they're a leader immediately. They're natural born leaders, but nobody just wakes up and says, I'm the leader now, I'm running this, come behind me. Usually you followed first, and then you became the leader. And that's what happens, right? But everybody has leadership qualities because everybody can organize.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you organize the birthday party, that means you were an organizer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like a lot of people don't know like who you are, Malik Evans, but I know you've came from the RCSD, you worked at ESL for a long time, and now to move into like the mayor of the city of Rochester. How has that journey been, going from the district to ESL to now?
Well, M&T, I worked in business. I worked in business banking. I worked in financial services banking for over 20 years. I was on the school board. I was on city council. I think that it's been a journey and experience. But one of the things I'll tell you is that everything that I've done in my life has prepared me for the next thing, even though I didn't know that it would. Because I was the Students Association treasurer when I was at U of R, which meant that I was in charge of all the money at U of R. I was in charge of all the student fees. I got to decide where they go. I signed all the student checks. And then look, I went and became a banker, right? I was on student government. And then look, I got on school board and then city council. But before that, I was a part of the City County Youth Council, which is now called YVOV, and I was learning these leadership skills. I was treasurer of different organizations and those things. So how it's been is that everything in life, if you're smart enough to take something from it, it will prepare you for your next thing because you will be able to see the things in which you did in your previous job or organization that you were a part of, and you'll be able to take those skills and then use them somewhere else. So I worked in management when I was in banking, and I managed people, and now I manage a whole lot of people. So those skills help me. So that's how it's been. You've been able to take something from every single job and apply it, or every experience and apply it, and that is what. Looking back on that, to your question, I think that's what I'm like, wow, okay, I kind of experienced this. It was on a smaller scale, it might have been different, or a difficult person. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that, doing that. How can I take what I learned here and apply it here? So I think that's been great. When I retire to my farm, I'm sure I'll still take some skills like I took, right?
Axel, before you ask your question, I wanted to just do a sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
Go back. You mentioned how everybody can't be at the front of the drum line.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually just had our first HBCU.
Yeah. That's right. We had the drum line. Yeah.
So like, how was that process? And a lot of people in the North have never experienced any sort of HBCU culture.
Yeah.
So that was something really.
We wanted to show people what the HBCU experience was. I mean, the HBCU, beautiful. You have the dancers, you have the drum lines, you have the schools. I mean, the classics are big things down south.
Yeah.
And mainly at HBCUs, right? So we wanted to bring that to Rochester, and then shout out to the young people that right now are spending this week touring HBCUs. We wanted to bring that to Rochester to show, number one, that education is important, but number two, that you can also have fun. And you saw how amazing those drum lines were. They were playing all those things. But if you notice with those drum lines, you might have had a leader, but you really couldn't tell because they were all playing together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what good leadership is about. You know, you want somebody to conduct and lead, but the music, and each person has their role, and they end up playing well. So we were very happy about the Classic. We're going to bring it back again this year, and we hope that it will be just as successful as it was last year. So yeah, we were excited about that, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what the saying is, but it's something around the lines that challenges build who you are as a person, and how you make decisions and proceed as a leader. Mm-hmm. So there's many teenagers nowadays that it's hard for them to overcome challenges. It's hard for them to continue in their normal lives because there's something that's just distracting them from from seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So what would you tell them to help them overcome challenges and continue with their life and lead them to a successful life or career?
Well, I think one of the things I would tell people is that don't ever think that you have to do anything by yourself. One of the challenges we have with with mental health and the other challenges that we face is that people feel isolated because they don't think that there's anywhere that they can go. Mm-hmm. But 9 times out of 10, one of the challenges that you are facing, there is someone else that may have faced it and has overcome it. So try to find someone that can help you overcome that, because it gets tougher when you isolate yourself and you're away from those that can't help you remove the barriers. Now, they may not be able to remove the barriers totally for you, but the 2 of you working together, or the 3 of you, or the 4 of you can help you remove those barriers. Mm-hmm. Trouble also doesn't last always. And 9 times out of 10, I can guarantee that you will have more good days than bad days.
Right.
It may not seem that way when you're going through it. And everything that you go through is something that will build your testimony. And you can't have a testimony if you don't have a test. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're always going to have a test. I've had tests, right? I've had a lot of crazy tests. So how can you find people to help you overcome those things? And that's what the event on mental health was all about, was showing all these resources that we had in the community of people that can help you overcome the challenges that you might have. And that's what I like to remind people, is that you can overcome. You can overcome if you find people to make sure that they're there to support you. And you live in a very supportive community. I tell people, come into our recreation centers. Come join YVOV. Feel free to call our PIC team. Feel free to go into our libraries or rec centers and say, hey, I need help offline. And there will be somebody there that can help you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what people need to know. You are not out there alone, and you don't have to do anything by yourself. And it is always hard to ask for help, but some of the best people that have been able to overcome and do well in their life, they swallowed their pride and said, I can't do this by myself. Mm-hmm. I need somebody. And there's a reaching hand on the other side that will be able to help you. Don't go to someone that's going to try to get you to do something bad. Go to someone that you know that can help you, and there's a lot of that out there.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, this last question. You got something you got to say?
Yeah, can we talk about the Evolution Gala? I just we gotta clear with the publicist, you know.
What's the Evolution Gala?
So, we have a connection with Project Management Institute. So they come do like a couple, is it like 8 weeks? 8-week project management training.
Oh yeah,
with our youth.
yeah.
And last year we focused on the evolution, or the YVOV Evolution Gala. So it's kind of like showing the evolution of when it was CCYC up into Youth Voice One Vision.
I like that.
And just going back and grabbing the alumni and bringing an event together where we can all just have a good time.
Yeah.
Acknowledge the work that people have done. Acknowledge the OG, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
And we've been working on that last year. We're working on it this year. I just wanted to know, like, would you be our keynote speaker for the event, or?
Well, I'm sure if you call Miss Daniela and see if you can get the date on my calendar, I'm sure I might be able to come to the Evolution Gala and you can show off the old man that helped start it off.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
There you go.
So we got to set that up.
Do we know when the gala is yet, or are you looking for the date?
So I think we were shooting for 2026.
Okay.
Maybe 27.
All right. Well, I hope it's 2026. You know. Yeah. Why not? Let's make the Evolution Gala next year. That's right.
Now, all clear? Everything good?
Yeah.
Now, this last question is it's very heavy. You're going to answer it too, Calvin.
Yeah, Kelvin's going to get in on it. Kelvin's going to get in on this question.
Yeah. So it says, if you could build the ultimate leader, which 3 past or present leaders would you pick?
Man, that's hard. Who's going first, Kelvin? Okay, I'll go first, and then I'll let Kelvin go. You know, first off, I think I would add my dad in there, because my dad was very good at people. This guy could get along with anybody, and he could take the most difficult person and still be able to work with him. I still don't know how he does it. I have a little bit of that in me. And then I would say Frederick Douglass. If you look at what Frederick Douglass was able to do in the 1800s and how he was able to bring hundreds of thousands to millions of people around the world to try to bring about change, it's unbelievable. And, you know, this guy he was able to convince Abraham Lincoln to have African Americans fight in the Civil War, and he became one of the best orators, even though he had not a lick of formal schooling, which is amazing. And then I would say, Dr. King, who was able to inspire people. Remember, Dr. King never really had like a formal title. He was a pastor. He never was a president. He never was a senator. He never was a governor. But he was able to still bring about fundamental change across the world and bring issues, despite not having any elected office or any title. So that shows you the power of leadership. So I would say my dad, Dr. King, and Frederick Douglass would be 3. I probably could add 50 more, but those would be like 3 that come like right off the top of my head. And I say my dad too, because he's understood the importance of people. He always said people are extremely important. He would say people are more important than money or anything else. So you can't do anything without people. And I took that from him.
So I'm going to start with former Mayor Bill Johnson.
Oh, great guy.
Because I don't think... What year was he mayor?
Bill Johnson was mayor from 1994 to 2005.
Okay. So I was born in 2003, so I kind of like missed all of his work. But I hear good things. For him to be a part of the start of Youth Voice One Vision and to see like where it is now,
yeah,
I would definitely choose him.
Good one.
And I love being a part of this work with the people I'm a part of it with. Secondly, I'm gonna go Tremaine Harris, of course, because words can't even explain how good of a leader this man is. Like, just having a conversation, just like the work that he's doing, how his passion, his drive, he really cares for the youth like they are his own kids. And regardless if it's a bad day, a good day, regardless if we got an audible, if we got a pivot, he never stops doing the work. He never allows it to hinder his growth, never allows it to hinder the program growth. And he's always looking for different people to network with, different areas of growth, different areas to grow, to be better. And he's like my idol, my second father. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would definitely choose Tremaine Harris. And then at my number 1 spot, I'm gonna have to go Dr. Joy DeGruy.
You met her yesterday? Good lady.
Oh my God, that woman is amazing. Just to see how hard she goes for Black women, for Black men, for the Black community, just for transformation, for healing, for us being in a better position in life, and just the elevation. I would definitely choose her. I was on a panel with her like 2 or 3 days ago. And it's just such an honor. Shout out to Tremaine. Tremaine put me on to Dr. DeGrew. So just to see her in person and work with her, share words of wisdom, it was just a surreal moment. But yeah, that would be my top three. Mayor Bill Johnson, Tremaine Harris, and Dr. Joy DeGrew.
That was good. That was wow. Now this is off the agenda, but this is a question I want to ask. What would be something you'll say to teenagers in Rochester or just in general that probably don't have a clear line of what they want to do with their future, don't have that support? What would you tell them to keep them moving, keep pushing them to be great?
Don't stop moving. You got to get involved in something, right? And you don't have to know what you want to do. And even if you think you know what you want to do, it might evolve or change. I used to want to be a newscaster when I was growing up, right? That was my number one thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a newscaster, right? I didn't become a newscaster, but I talked to a lot of news folks, right? And I think that is something that you have to do. Get involved in something. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to know what you want to do. That's okay. You don't have to wake up and say, you know what, I want to be a doctor or I want to be a lawyer. But just know that you want to be something, and whatever you decide it is that you want to be or do, work to be the best at it. Dr. King said, if you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper you're going to be. If you're going to be a painter, paint the way Michelangelo painted, right? So whatever it is that you decide you want to do, be the best at it. And I don't care what it is you want to do. You may decide you want to go be a farmer and go milk cows. You better make sure you're the best cow milker there is out there, right? Mm-hmm. So always do whatever it is you do with excellence. I don't care if you're a cashier at a store or if you're a lawyer arguing before the Supreme Court. You better make sure that you're doing the best that it is that you can do, and connect with others that can help get you there. Mm-hmm. You do not have to do anything by yourself. There's always somebody that is willing to help you. You just have to reach out.
I like how you said keep it moving.
Keep it moving. Yeah. If you can't fly, run. Can't run, walk. Can't walk, crawl. But keep moving, right? That's what Dr. King said. That's what we need to remind people to do.
Well, thank you for giving us your time today. We really appreciate you. And that is our first episode of Rock With Us.
Congratulations. There you go, your first show.